Hello everyone, this is Ross from retrodreambeam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Friday. It's super cold out. It was like negative something, 5, 10. I don't know. It was painful going out there just to go to the storage unit, grab items, and come back. I'm still like out of breath from it. All right, first thing is going to be a combo order. This was going to be 3 empty boxes. If these had the booster packs, this would have been a lot more. This is from Magic the Gathering. I think this person keeps coming and getting the empty boxes from me. It was like $22 for the total thing, so it's basically $7 and some change for each. This is Ixalan right here. I think this was not the bundle. This was going to be, I believe, the deck builder toolkit box where they open up from the side. They would give you a bunch of stuff like lands and just packets of cards that were similar theme to make decks. That's why they called it deck builder toolkits. They also grabbed this for Ixalan, not Ixalan, Kaladesh right here. Also, this one was going to be a deck builder's toolkit. Also has like a little latch that opens up that way. So similar thing where you get a bunch of, you would also get some like booster packs in there. Kaladesh had Inventions, which was like a masterpiece. Those are like super expensive now. And then the last one is going to be Shadows over Innistrad. Also, same thing. So they weren't getting like the bundles or the fat pack boxes. They were getting the storage boxes that were the deck builder toolkits. You can hold a bunch of decks and cards, and these are nice to store on the shelf so your cards aren't all over the place. You can put a bunch of dice in here. You can put a bunch of stuff, right, to keep it organized. And then unthemed with Magic the Gathering. All right, next up is going to be a big puzzle. This is Pirate's Bounty. This is going to be a Melissa and Doug floor puzzle. Nothing too crazy. We've sold puzzles before. I actually completed this one and took a picture of the whole thing on the actual floor. It's like a big giant puzzle. Pirate theme. People like the pirate theme. This ended up going for $7.35. So not like a fancy sale, but I have more space in the bin now that that's sold. So I get to list more stuff into that spot. All right. Next up is going to be a bunch of skirmish miniatures. I got these 15 millimeter. They're like highly painted. They are also already based. So there's grass flocking on the bottom. You can't really see it, but this is a set of 8. These are crossbow infantry, well painted. I had a good amount of these. I got these at like an auction where other people were bidding up a couple $100 for these big boxes of painted miniatures. And for one of the boxes with less of them, people didn't want them as much. So I ended up getting like the whole box, I think, for like $32. I wanted to give it a try at some painted miniatures. So super into profit for that box, $18.37. This is going to a repeat buyer. The painted stuff is kind of hard to price because a lot of people don't like to paint miniatures. And then, you know, it's subjective for like the quality. People can generally tell what's painted well, what's not. But even sometimes people who don't paint, they even like stuff that just has color on it, you know, so it's not just like the gray miniature, just like a prime miniature with like black, white, or gray or whatever. So usually people will pay up for that, but it really is hard to price it out. All right. Next up is going to be a set of 2 Chiodo girls. These are going to be like little scantily toy figurines, limited edition ones. I got these when I got the Skybolts. I forget the particular. You've seen me sell those like big action figures. I got like 100 of them. And then I got a bunch of these girls. This one's Jungle Girl. It says Gold Convention Edition. It says limited to 1,000. So I guess there's 1,000 of them, I think. And then there's like a Bikini Babe right here. So these both go along with that particular Skybolts comic book brand or whatever that one was. $13.23. I had a note to sell similar, or like to sell another set of 2 when they sold. I think this was my last set. I had more individuals of the Jungle Girl, so I went ahead and just listed the Jungle Girl alone. So I think I only had like 3 left. So been selling them for a while. All right, next up is gonna be Melissa and Doug, another like children's toy thing. Or I guess this is similar, same brand for the puzzle, little toolkit, like, you know, with wooden bits and pieces and stuff for a kid to play with the actual toolbox right here. And I got like 4 of these or 6 of these at a thrift store a long time ago, like a mom and pop one. I think we sold more of the, or sorry, we sold some of these for more money early on. I think it was like 2021, but now that they're not worth as much, shipping's more expensive, almost double the price when we were shipping out this. This one only went for $6.50. We might have lost money on this one. No, oh, here's the sticker. She paid $2.50 for that. So not the best flip, but still money counts. Everything counts. All right, everything adds up. Next up is going to be some Dungeons and Dragons miniature game. These are just the cards. These are going to be for the Dragon Eye set right here. This was a collectible miniature game by Wizards of the Coast. You would play on a gridded map. You would get collectible booster packs, and you get a bunch of figures. They would have these cards that would have the stats for the D&D characters or monsters, as well as like the stats for the game. These are just a bunch of cards. I got so many of these a long time ago. They're still selling to this day. These are like the scraps that you guys see me selling because when I originally had them, I was selling like packs of like 80 or 90 or 100. So this one's like a set of 29. I basically organized like these 10,000 card collection of these miniature cards by set, and then I would take, you know, all of the ones, you know, and then put one into each pile. And then, you know, if I had number 2, so I was just trying to make like full sets, and I would keep going until I would run out of the number. So like, you know, the first lot would have the most complete of the set, and then the second one would have slightly less. So like these were the ones that were like towards the end, but they're still selling $11 to a repeat buyer. Maybe they lost the cards to the miniatures, or they just they're good collectible cards as well. People like Dungeons and Dragons all over the place. All right, next up is going to be some photo flash bulbs right here. And I used to grab a bunch of these different bulbs. You would know which ones to look for different kind of cameras. So people will still use cameras like this. So she would find packs of these at like estate sales and stuff. She'd make sure that there's still be packaging. You could tell the packaging still has damage, but the bulbs are still there. So we sold a set. These are 31 of the bulbs for $19.59. She was pretty good at knowing which ones to grab. Not me, but I would list them. So I would get them sold by listing them. All right. Next up is going to be 80, not a set of 100 Dragon Shield. We just talked about these sleeves. I sold some yesterday. These were from the Warhammer Underworlds collection. There was this huge collection, and then they still had the boxes, and all the cards were still sleeved. Almost like most of them were basically brand new. Dragon Shield is the most popular standard size trading card sleeve. Most people use them for Magic the Gathering, but you can use them for board games. You can also use it for Pokemon, as long as the card's a standard size. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is considered Japanese size, which is a smaller size. I think Dragon Shield also does have smaller size sleeves, but it'll say in the box. But yeah, this is only a set of 80. This is the Jet Matte. A lot of these can be really expensive if you get like their seasonal ones. They have these like collectible ones. It'll be like Valentine's Day. It'll be like Halloween. It'll be like Christmas. They'll do like these 10th anniversary. They'll do all these special kinds. So just for 80 of these sleeves, this ended up going for $5.24 to a repeat buyer. Like I said, getting a lot of repeat buyers. All right. Next up, not something we usually sell, but we got, I don't even know where, and maybe Annette got this from an auction like a long time ago. We got a bunch of like teddy bear clothing for teddy bears or dolls. This is a ducky outfit. I can imagine we could put this on our cat. She'd be a grumpy duck if we put this on her. But yeah, little duck outfit. This ended up going for $5.87. I don't mind listing anything. You can sell anything on eBay. Just because I'm not like an expert at a category doesn't mean I'm afraid to list it. All right. Next up is going to be an incomplete board game expansion. King of Tokyo, the power-up expansion right here. I put in my listing that's 90% complete, so I can't remember exactly what it's missing. But King of Tokyo, really popular board game. It was super popular like 2015 or so about 10 years ago. But it was a variation of Yahtzee, so this is a push your luck mechanic game where you'll have a monster, and then you'll get to, there's a power-up cards you can purchase, and the whole main mechanic of the game is you roll your dice. I forgot how many, 5 or 6, and then you have 2 chances to re-roll, just like Yahtzee. You can choose some to keep, and then other ones you can re-roll, and there would be things that you can do to damage other people. If they got their life points to 0, they're knocked out. There would be star points. If you got up to like a certain number of star points, you would just win on the spot. So it's another victory condition. You can heal up a little bit, and then you can get energy to purchase cards. So this expansion would add another character like the panda you could play, and it added like a 56 different additional of these power-up cards to power up your monster. Really good game. I basically explained most of the rules there. This ended up going for $10.49. It's not like a complicated one, just a variation of Yahtzee, and people still like it to this day. All right. Next up is going to be some Mech Warrior mechs. There's going to be 4 of them. So normally, this is by WizKids. I would normally organize them by faction. This one, I just happened to have 4 of the bigger mechs. These would come in booster packs. So these would be the bigger figures. They also have tanks. They also have infantry. They have like little bikes. But yeah, these are like the bigger characters. These are the ones, like the main part of playing Mech Warriors. You have your mechs. So this is just 4 of them. Nothing too special about the rarity. They do have different rarities. I don't remember what this one was, but this sold for $12.59 for 4 of them. I got like a huge Mech Warrior collection a long time ago, as well as I occasionally find this stuff, so I'll pick it up when I find it cheap enough. All right, moving along, we have Vintage Warhammer Quest board game bits and pieces. I think I listed this kind of recently, so yeah, I think I did. Just a bunch of bits and pieces. If I had this game complete, this would be super expensive. But yeah, just it's some cards. Some of them are written on, and then a bunch of like the door tokens, little power tokens, some equipment cards here. This is just partial. End up selling for $34.99 just for some bits and pieces to this game. All right, I've never played that one, but it looks like a fun one. All right, next up is going to be, or last up is the map only. Did I miss something? I feel like I did miss one thing. This is going to be one of those board game boards. I think someone actually mounted this on a board. Sometimes people take those board game mats that are just paper, and then I think they somehow figure out a way to nicely put them on like a mounted board, like an actual, like, you know, a blank board game board. So I think that's what this person did. This is Battle for Germany. That and then it's like the destruction of the Reich, I think is like what the one of those shit games is called, and it has like the little hexes, so it uses like that kind of mechanic for the war game. But yeah, this ended up going for $12.59 to repeat buyer. I don't know how I missed it. I know we sold this. This is me, New Type USA magazine #1. This also has some inserts. This has some Gundam stuff. Gundam stuff can be pretty expensive. I haven't gotten too much Gundam stuff since we started on eBay. I sold some like partially completed kits, and probably like a year ago if you've been watching the show long enough. But yeah, cool magazine. We like to pick them up, especially when they have inserts. This ended up going for probably like $10 to $15. I don't know why I didn't pass up when I was looking through my stuff on the phone. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to this channel, stay warm if it's cold around you, and have a good weekend.